What's up, guys? Obviously, a huge trade here with the Jets and the Seahawks. And I thought I would look at this trade from both perspectives here. Give you three reasons why this trade makes a lot of sense for the Seahawks, and three reasons why this trade makes a lot of sense for the Jets. But before we get there, I kind of enjoy this new trend we've seen over the last couple years of star players being moved for multiple high picks. And we've seen it with Khalil Mack, Larry Tunsil, Jalen Ramsey. And I understand it. You look at where those teams were with those players. Obviously, you appreciate the value they have and as talented as they are, but you have so many roster holes to fix. You need assets. So I think it's kind of set the stage for a number of these high-profile players we've seen moved over the last couple years. But let's jump into it here. Three reasons for the Seattle Seahawks why this makes a lot of sense. And for me, the first one is it's just a fantastic fit. And I mean that in every way for Jamal Adams. When you look at it, first of all, scheme-wise, obviously you think about the Cam Chancellor role. He's going to be able to play in that spot. Makes a lot of sense for them. He's going to bring not only the scheme fit, but he's going to bring the personality fit as that alpha male that I think they're missing a little bit on that defense since we saw the Legion of Boom kind of break up. Richard Sherman had that edge to him. Cam Chancellor had that edge to him. Even Frank Clark, when he was there, brought that type of an edge. So I think they were missing that. As talented as Jadeveon Clowney was, he doesn't really have that type of personality. So I think Jamal Adams is somebody that Pete Carroll has always wanted that type of player in his defense. So scheme fit, he's a fit as an alpha, and then I think he's a fit in the division. You think about the 49ers and those epic games, the one that came down to just that foot to decide the division last year. You've got somebody in Jamal Adams that is going to be able to be a force player against the run. They run the ball extremely well in San Francisco. He's going to be able to play in the alley. He's going to be able to get off blocks and make plays. Also, you're hopefully he's going to be able to match up a little bit with Kittle and be able to cover him underneath and carry him down the seam. So he fits when you're trying to play against that football team. And I think you look at the Arizona Cardinals, and Kyler Murray going forward is going to be a big problem in this division. And I think Jamal Adams has that ability to kind of mirror him, spy him, and give you some ways to combat what is going to be, in my opinion, the next great quarterback in the National Football League. So scheme fit, alpha fit, also a fit inside the division. So that's the first thing, fantastic fit. The next reason it makes sense to me is draft disappointment. I mean, when you look at what the Seahawks have done, they've had some tremendous picks outside the first round, outside their first pick. They've been able to hit on guys. We saw it last year with DK Metcalf. When you look at their recent first-round picks, I'm very hopeful on Jordan Brooks, who they drafted out of Texas Tech this year. Very athletic linebacker. I think he's got a chance to be a good fit. And again, putting him out there with Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, and now you throw Jamal Adams, that second level of the defense got a chance to be very good. But you look before that, LJ Collier in 2019 first-round pick hasn't done anything. Rashad Penny's been disappointing, their first-round pick in 2018. You go to 2017, they didn't have that first-round pick. They took Malik McDowell, I think, with the 35th pick in the second round. That didn't work out. Jermaine Ifedi before that, haven't got quite the return you want there either. So to me, I think their willingness to part with some picks makes sense to get a known commodity. They have confidence they can hit on picks outside the first round, and then their ability to just get a plug-and-play player for Jamal Adams. I thought that makes sense. So you've got fantastic fit, you've got the draft disappointment, and then the third reason to me is Wilson's window. When you look at Russell Wilson right now, he's 31 years old. He's still very much in the prime of his career. In my opinion, I think he's the second best quarterback in the National Football League right now. This offense is in good shape. Mentioned DK Metcalf, they've got Lockett, they've got some good pieces around him. They're explosive on offense. The offensive line, hopeful, continues to improve there, but they've made some upgrades. So I feel good about offense. Defense looks nothing like the Super Bowl defense that they had. They needed an upgrade, and I think Jamal Adams provides that. So in this window of the next 4 or 5 years where Russell Wilson's still going to be able to move around really well, not to mention winning from the pocket. This is kind of the golden years here. You don't want to waste them. So those are the reasons why this makes sense for the Seattle Seahawks. Let's flip it over to the New York Jets now. Why this move? This is the best player on your team. They picked him high. Obviously, it was a different regime, but he's a hit. So why would you move on from a player like that? I'm going to give you three reasons. Let's start number one with premium positions. Safety is he's a difference maker, no doubt, as a safety. But the Jets are void of talent at the premium positions. Here are the premium positions. You look on offense and think about this from the standpoint of how high these positions traditionally get drafted. That speaks to the value. Also, look at what happens in free agency. The money is going to tell you what the value is there as well. So the quarterback position, I'm still very bullish on Sam Darnold. We're going to get to him in a minute. So I think they're okay there. They've got that taken care of. Offensive tackle would be the second position on the offensive side of the ball. They got Mekhi Becton at their first-round pick this year to anchor the left side. I still think there's a need at the right tackle position going forward. So one of two there. Edge rushers. I don't think there's anybody that really scares you when you look at the edge rushers for the New York Jets. Some solid players, decent players, no premium players at that position. And then the cornerback position, I think you can make a strong case. They need to invest in the cornerback position with high picks or free agency. That needs to be addressed. So that's the first reason why you would trade a Jamal Adams, get some assets you can collect, and you can address those premium positions that have been avoided there by the previous regime. Next, number 2 on the list is you've got respectable replacements. When you look at where they are at the safety position, obviously they don't have a Jamal Adams, but a Marcus May is a really good player who can play as the high safety in the post. And now I think you see him drop down, play a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. He can do that all day. Ashton Davis, who they picked in the draft this year out of Cal, is a very athletic safety who can play as the high safety with tremendous range. You could also line him up and let him cover some in the slot. So I think with those two guys starting, I think you're more than functional. You got a chance to be a solid duo there at the safety position. So you've got premium positions you need to address. You've got respectable replacements. And then the third thing I would say is support for Sam. When you get extra assets, it's going to allow you not only to fill those premium positions, it's going to allow you then to have some assets to go get some wide receiver help. That's going to be in the future. You're not going to see it this year. You're hopeful for some of the guys you have. Jamison Crowder, I like in the slot. You're hopeful Rashad Perriman's going to continue on what we saw at the end of the year last year with Tampa. Denzel Mims is a rookie, has a high upside. But I still think you need more assets there at the position. So this is going to allow you to do that. Get some more weapons for Sam Darnold with some of these picks you're going to have from this trade. Also, it's going to allow you to continue to grow and upgrade the interior of the offensive line. A lot of moves made by Joe Douglas to improve that group, but I think now you have even in more ways to try and get better along that offensive line. So there you have it. Those are the reasons I think this trade makes sense for both teams. And it was just fun. I love when we get a great trade, and this one definitely is something to talk about, and I think long-term could work out for both squads.